Hey guys, I'm Victoria Fuller. Welcome to my podcast, Uncensored Saints. Lizzy Savetsky.
So nice to officially meet you.
So good
in
to
the
meet
real.
you. I know. Thank you for coming on Uncensored Saints. It's my podcast.
I'm so honored to be here. I am uncensored, but I am not a saint.
And
Certainly not. No.
No, you are. You literally are.
Nope.
And that's why you're here.
Okay.
And
well,
I can't wait to hear
if you say it, I won't correct you.
You're like, she said it, not me. I love that. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And you look fabulous today. You're in all snake skin.
You know, I just...
Yeah.
Meow.
Lizzy, I'm like so intrigued by you. I feel like I've just been like scrolling through Instagram and TikTok and like I absolutely love you.
Well, thank you.
Because you're low-key really funny. And
That's nice.
I mean, that's not a dig, I promise you. Like, because you're all these things. Like, you're just like, you're a mom of 3. Like, you're a wife. You like run a business. You're an activist. Like, you do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with that being said, the last thing I would think is that you're hilarious. And you really are. Like, your Bubby impression.
Oh, my God.
Bye. It's so funny.
Well, sweetie, you know, I'll tell you, I do it for myself. It's very much like a selfish act because I get my kicks from going around and fucking shit up with people. Like, I like to put on my Bubby outfit and go harass random people on the subway and department stores. It just, I don't know. I get a kick. I like it when people get upset by it too. Is that weird?
No, it's not weird at all. Wait, like, how do they get upset though? I saw this
people
subway
think
one.
People get offended. They think that I'm messing with them.
Right.
And I am. So, I mean, I understand. But I think in New York, people are just like not down to be a part of your humor.
Everyone's like kind of serious in New York too.
Yeah, people
They're
are
like,
very uptight.
I'm like,
so
okay.
I think it's fun to just kind of like poke them and see how far I can take it before. I haven't gotten, physically assaulted yet as Bubby, but I'm waiting on that. Yeah.
Wait, okay. As to start it off, can you just do like a Bubby impression though? And for those who don't know, Bubby is like her grandma impression. What I would say is like of a Jewish grandma, right?
Yes, Bubby is the Yiddish word for grandma.
I love that.
And, stereotypically, Bubbies are very pushy.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the most agreeable. So my Bubby impression would be like, when you're getting married... Oh, what's that smell? Oh, it's you and your rotting eggs. Are you ever going to give me any grandchildren? I can't stand it. I'm just going to die alone. So it would be like that. Yeah.
She's like, no.
Because I think, like you, like I was raised in the South to be very polite. And so Bubby says all the things that I want to say, but I can't say to people. And it just gives me a license to be a dick.
I'm like dying.
Well,
I wasn't expecting her to
I'm sorry I didn't bring the out. It's easier for me when I'm in the full Bubby gear.
No, I love it. Are you kidding me? It is like a little awkward to see you doing the Bubby impression, but in like your full
as Lizzy,
as
full
Lizzy.
Python.
I'm like, wait, that
I
actually
feel like Bubby would get down with this look though.
No, for 1,000% she would.
She would.
Her and Bloomingdale's. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Bubby likes to bring the swag for sure.
No, I love her. Okay, so you said that you're not from New York originally.
I'm not.
Okay, so where are you from?
I am from Texas.
Hell yeah.
And you're from Virginia?
I'm from Virginia.
So we're Southern girls?
Southern girls,
What's
babes.
up, sister?
Tell me more about that, though, because, like, I feel like as you branch off in the real world, not the real world, but, like, I'm from, like, a bubble in Virginia.
Yeah, same.
You know what I mean? So, you're in New York now, but, like, how was, like, your life growing up?
So
Or in Texas?
I had a pretty stereotypical Texas upbringing in the sense that I was, like, a cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
I competed in Miss Teen Texas.
Stop.
I did.
Did you win?
No, I got third runner-up. I'm a little bitter, but it was. I'm short. What are you going to do? Like, I can't compete with the legs, It's fine. I did well in talent and interview,
No, you would 1,000%
but
killed that.
I could, I couldn't, you can't
You're
compete.
like the height.
Yeah. I'm also just not very graceful, so, You probably would have done very well in pageants. I could see it.
No, I was not a pageant girl.
No?
I'm too quiet.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe you at all.
No, I swear. I'm very introverted.
It's an interesting choice of career.
It's an interesting dichotomy, right? Yeah.
So are you like an extroverted introvert? Or?
Yeah, I would say that about myself. Yeah, I
so
definitely.
Like when you're comfy?
Yeah, when I'm like cool with the people that I know, I'm definitely extroverted. But until then, I'm like in the corner or like I go to bed early and I'm like not hanging out with people. I'm definitely not. Like, I feel like you're an extrovert by nature. I can just feel it off of you. And you just, like, radiate that energy, and I love it. I'm just, like, very, like, to myself.
That is so funny.
But that's why, like, I love being around, like, your energy.
How do you handle, like...
She's like, groups? This is my interview now, bitch.
I'm just curious. Like, I want to know, like, you... Because, like, you've been around, like, all these large groups. Yeah. Like, how do you handle yourself?
Yeah. No, I think for me, I'm just like, I like to witness everybody else and what everyone else is doing. I take on like other people's energy. And so I just like witness what everyone's doing. I'm kind of like an observer.
That's awesome.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of self-control.
No, but what I love about you is that you're just like unapologetically yourself. All the time.
Oh God. Yeah, for better or worse, I guess.
No, it's like so, I don't know the word, but like it's very endearing, I think.
Well, thank you.
To like just witness you and like in the flesh too, because I obviously follow you on social media and like I just think you're amazing.
Just keep it coming.
Yeah, you're like, please.
Yeah.
No, but so you're from Texas originally.
Yes. And so I grew up singing on a country music show. And when I was looking for colleges, I was pursuing a career in entertainment. So you're from Nashville, right?
Mm-hmm. Did you look at Belmont?
Well, yes, but I was looking at Vanderbilt. My parents are very like classic Jewish parents where they did not want me to just pigeonhole myself into like a career in entertainment. They wanted me to have a very good backup plan. Right. So they wanted me to, have a degree that could take me wherever. Yeah. So not just like majoring in music. So so I looked at Vanderbilt and
the Harvard of the South.
Yeah, I loved
That's
Vanderbilt
what it is,
actually.
Babes. Oh, it's I'm actually applying there. No one really knows this, but I'm applying there for my MBA. So but no, okay, so you were looking at
so I was looking at schools and I was debating between NYU and USC.
Wow.
And I knew I wanted to leave Texas. Like I did have this feeling because I grew up as a Jewish person in Fort Worth, Texas, and was definitely a minority in that sense. And it was like my parents did a really good job of raising me with a strong sense of self when it came to being Jewish, but I just didn't have the exposure to a lot of Jewish people or a strong Jewish education. So it was important to me when I was picking a college that I would have access to like a lot of people like me.
Yeah. So that's amazing. Yeah. So then you ended up going where?
So I went to NYU. So that's how I ended up here.
Okay.
Yes. So I visited NYU. I fell in love with the school. I felt like I didn't really want the whole campus experience. I visited University of Texas a few times during high school. And I was like, if I go here, I will fail out and die because I don't have that kind of self-control to like, I would still be at the frat party. Do you know what I mean?
You're like, hey.
Yeah. So I was like, I feel like NYU is a little bit better for me because I can kind of just skip over that whole part and like focus on
it's almost like adulting and like at NYU because you're like living off campus. Were you living off campus?
Yeah. So all the dorms are, NYU's campus is Washington Square Park. So you don't, even when you're on campus, you don't feel like you're on campus. And I just loved the independence of being in New York City. And I just I fell in love with it. I knew actually when I visited, I knew that this is where I wanted to be forever. Wow. I knew that I was never going back to Texas. So
what a stark difference though from being in the South and growing up in the South. And I know because hello, we're in the South, bitch.
Yeah.
But then going to NYU, that was probably really hard for you though, like a transition. Yeah. Or was it not because you wanted to get out?
I think it was hard for me in the sense that I wanted to fit in with the LA, New York City, more mature type kids. And I remember I showed up to class my first day and I had worked at Banana Republic my senior year of high school and loved it. Yeah. And so I showed up in my business casual clothing, and everyone was so cool. And I wanted to be like them, and I've always been a chameleon. So I knew I could get it, but it took me a minute. And so I was intimidated, I would say, by just the atmosphere of New York City. But I felt like it motivated me to kind of, step into the person I wanted to be.
Yeah. So then what did you end up getting your major in?
So I ended up majoring in actually, okay. So I'm gonna be completely straight with you right now.
Was it not music?
No. So I went to the Gallatin School of Individualized Study, which is a very small liberal arts program within NYU. And the reason that I chose it is because I found out that Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were my year and they were going to that program. And I was like, all right, I was debating between Clive Davis School of Recorded Music and Gallatin. Yeah. I came from like a liberal arts background. I thought my parents would be happier with that. And I was like, you know what? If Gallatin's good enough for Mary-Kate and Ashley, it's probably good enough for me. So I applied to it, simply based on that. I let them do the research and do the homework for me. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I got to see their fashions every day. Their security guard waited outside our class.
Wait, you were there in their...
I was in their grade.
Shut up.
Yeah, they dropped out after freshman year though. But I was also in the same class as Lady Gaga before she was Lady Gaga, and we were very close friends. I got second place to her in our dorm talent show. But she beat me by like a landslide.
Wait, how
it was like Gaga and then like
Lizzy. No, Lizzy, come on. You weren't that far. Yeah. Wait, what did Gaga do in your talent performance?
She sang like her original. I mean, she was Gaga, like literally Gaga. I remember like this girl with like this hair down to her ass, and she was wearing her little Converse sneakers, and she sat down at the piano. And I come from like, the South, you play by the rules, you know what I mean?
Babes, you do not cut people, you don't do anything.
No,
by the rules. Absolutely.
So we had a time limit. It was a 2-minute time limit. She literally sang and played her piano for like 12 minutes. And nobody stopped her. And
you're like...
I was like, all right, well, she broke the... Okay, yes, I understand she's by far the best, but she also should have been disqualified for violating the time limit.
What is going on here?
Yeah. But it's okay. I'm not... overly
Shout out to Gaga. Yeah. We actually love her.
We love Gaga. Yeah. She was very nice to me, I have to say. Was she? Very sweet person. Good person.
God. And you came second to her.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that though. Like,
yeah. I've always like fantasized about seeing her.
And you're like, you went over the time limit.
Yeah. I mean, I have beef. Well, she has beef actually, the meat dress, but that was a while ago actually.
I love you. Your astrological sign?
Oh, I'm a Libra.
Shut your whole ass mouth. Or don't. But I am too. Yeah.
What's your birthday?
October 7th. What's yours?
The 15th.
Holy shit.
Wow. I'm much older than you though.
No, babes, you're not.
Yeah, 85.
Okay, 93.
Yeah.
You're not that much older than me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You look like you're 20.
It's because I'm married to a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
Yeah.
First off. I love you for saying that. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Can we talk about that for a second, though? Because you're so open about your faith, and I feel like I am, too. Yeah. And whenever like, someone sees that I'm doing Botox or like something like that that's changing my appearance, or like, how can you love God and then, like, you were born that way, you should love yourself, but also get Botox and, like, love Botox. Yeah. So you're so open about that. Can you tell me a little bit about
it's interesting. My husband is actually writing an article right now about women of faith who want aesthetic plastic surgery.
Right.
Did you know that the #1 city for breast augmentations is Salt Lake City?
You're kidding.
It's the Mormon women who want to look hot for their husbands or hot for themselves.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think for me, when I think of aesthetic plastic surgery, I don't think of it as, any different. You're taking the canvas that God gave you and you're doing what you think will put your best face forward, and I think it's like we put on makeup. I don't know.
How is that any different?
Yeah.
And I know it is a little bit different because you go under the knife and stuff, but I see what you're saying and I appreciate you saying that because I always I don't get surgery every year, but I don't care if you do. If it's what you want to do, it's like your personal preference, but that doesn't mean that you can't love God.
Well, here's what I have to say. I take issue with anyone who judges anyone else's, way of being a religious person, because the only one that can judge is God.
Right.
And so for you to tell me what God wants for me, how do you know? Did God tell you? Because last I checked, prophecy isn't still happening. So I believe that nobody can judge your choices, and everyone's relationship with God is their own relationship. Yeah. And so for somebody to tell you what is and isn't okay is, not acting in a very Christian way, if I do say so myself.
Well, honey.
It sure ain't Christian to judge a stranger. Isn't that a country song. Yeah, it's not.
No, it's so
I'm
true,
Jewish,
though.
but
no,
yeah, but
you get it. And that's the thing too, is like I like struggle with being so open about my faith because people are like, "Are you a born again Christian?" And I'm like, no,
I was only born once.
I'm like, no, I'm not like reborn to be a Christian. Like I've always been a Christian. It's just like I'm choosing to be more open about my faith because I want people to be able to relate to what like I'm going through and to not feel ashamed to be like, I have my faith, but I also like fashion and I also like to get my nails done and I also like to get Botox.
Yeah.
Don't judge me.
I think it's so hard when you're in the public eye.
Right.
You're obviously going to get opinions from unsolicited opinions.
Absolutely.
And it's just how it is. But, what I try to just tell myself with those kinds of comments is, I know that I'm living my truth and living, if something says something that is very triggering to me, a lot of times I'll look at that and I'll ask myself why that is. Because maybe there's more to unpack there. Yeah. But, I feel like it's nobody's place to judge negatively.
I love that. How do you deal with the hate though?
Right.
Because I feel like I've received so much of that. I know that you probably have too, especially like with reality TV. It's very easy for people to look at you and think of you as a character or like to be like, I don't really know this person. Like, let me judge them. And I know you do a very good job of acting like it probably doesn't bother you because I see your life and you're just like so happy. But does it ever get to you?
Yeah, it does. And I'm a very sensitive person.
Yeah.
I think as Libras, we take on a lot of energy from others. I think we're always into the balance. So it's like you feel everything. And so it is hard for me to kind of separate feeling other people's energy from what is actually true,
right?
And
for sure.
To like filter that out.
Yeah. You're like, am I this person? Like I'm not, right?
Yeah.
I go through that as well.
And perception is, just people's perception, but it's not who we are. And I think, I struggled with it a lot more in the beginning, but it's kind of like a muscle you exercise and it just starts to bounce off. And you get to a certain point. I'm curious if you have this too, where it's almost liberating because you're just like, I don't give a fuck what anyone says anymore because you get to a point where like it's just, that you're going to get negative backlash no matter what you do. So you're like, whatever, I'm just going to do what I want.
I've gotten to that point too where I'm just like, I'm not fully there, where I'm just like free and don't care about everything. But I've gotten to a point where I'm very comfortable with who I am. Right. And that I can just be like, this is who I am. And if you don't like me or accept me, that is not a reflection of like my self-worth.
Totally.
And I feel like I used to take that on so much and be like, oh my gosh, this person doesn't like me or this like negative comment. Like, oh my God, I must be this terrible person. And that's not the case. Truly, it's like probably somebody on the other end is dealing with their own shit.
Yeah.
And so they're taking it out on you or they like feel affected by something that they read about you. And so that they want to like write a mean comment. But that doesn't say who you are as a person or your self-worth.
And I think I am very similar in that I always valued my self-worth on external approval.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like I have two daughters, I have a son too, but I worry about my girls. I would never want them to, measure their confidence based on some stranger's opinion of them.
Right.
Who may be sick and suffering themselves. And
right, exactly. Who writes like a mean comment and then like.
Because you or I would never think to write a mean comment.
I have said this 100 times. I'm like, I can't even imagine going to some random stranger's page and being like, you're worthless.
Yeah.
Or like, screw you. This is so stupid. It's like, why take the time out of your day to even do that and like just continue hate?
Yeah.
And also too, like something that I saw on like Instagram with you was like, you were getting death threats.
Yeah.
At one point, like you and your husband were. Yeah. And I've gotten like hate and I've definitely gotten like, you should go die, which is awful.
Yeah. Good times.
Right? No, like literally.
Yeah. I'm going to choose life. Thanks.
Yeah, no, thank you. But I can't even imagine, like, I haven't gotten it because of Christianity and you've gotten it because of your Jewish faith.
Yeah.
And that to me, I can't even fathom because, like, people who come at you because of, like, your skin color or, like, your religion, I just cannot wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it's that I was gonna say, like the going from like the haters to this period that I've been in. I'm getting emotional even talking about it. Where it's, you know, it has nothing to do with me. It's just simply because I was born Jewish.
Exactly.
And I'm proud of that. And I, you know, this is my heritage. And so the fact that, you know, it's like, I feel like I have hate coming from all sides. I have people telling me, you know, you should leave America and go to Israel. That's where you belong. And then I have people telling me, Israel doesn't exist. Why do you promote Israel? It's Palestine. So it's like, no matter what side people are on, you know,
you're in the wrong.
Yeah. It's like, just like you feel like, you know, you can't win. And there's just so much miseducation out there. And I think what it's taught me, and like obviously my family has been on this journey with me, like feeling it all the way. Yeah. And so, you know, the thing that I always am telling my kids is that, you know, nobody is born hating someone.
Right.
And so how sad is it that these people were raised to have hate in their hearts? You know, this is something they were taught, you know, and that to me is the most heartbreaking thing. I mean, they're, in a sense, the people who are sending me this hate are victims themselves. And so I've tried to just like, because if I don't reframe it that way, I can't get out of bed in the morning because it's just so devastating. And it's, you know, it makes me really trepidatious about the future. And
yeah, and it's like, you know, you said something like a second ago, you said misinformation. And I feel like misinformation breeds hate. And that's such like a humanitarian problem, like across the board. It's like there's misinformation and then people base their opinions off of that. Yeah. And then they like breed this hate and they project it on you.
Yes.
And like it's just disgusting. And also too, you're saying you have kids, like you're raising children in this environment. And like, I guess like my next question for you would just be like, what do you do? Because you obviously don't want to like shield them. Yeah. And you want them to know like what's going on in the world and for them to be like aware. Right. But how do you also like protect their, you know, like being young and like innocent?
Yeah. You know, my 10-year-old, I always joke, she's like,
is she the one with the Torah corner?
Yes, Stella's Torah corner.
I literally love that. I was like, she's teaching me a thing.
She's like a mini adult. She always has been. She came out that way. And she's way more mature than I am. She's always telling me, Mom, you're being inappropriate. And like she yells at me for cursing because I have such a potty mouth. I can't help it.
Same.
So she's hyper aware. Like she knows everything that's going on.
Really?
And I'm not able to even like try to shield. I mean, she's just on it.
Yeah.
And so we have real adult conversations about these things. And, you know, and my younger daughter, who's 8, is much more of a kid, you know? And so, you know, as much as I can protect that innocence, I do. You know, I don't, you know, in general, I like to let my kids approach me about these difficult subjects. And I would never ever like brush it off or lie to them about it. I'm very honest to a fault with my kids. Like they know that they're both like IVF kids. Like they know, like I'm very open with them.
We need to talk about that after. Yeah.
So like, you know, so I'm straight with them, you know, I talk to them like people, but, you know, I don't want to like rain on my 8-year-old's parade.
Yeah, you're like, by the way, let's sit down and talk about everything that's going wrong with the world.
Exactly. So usually I let them sort of like steer the conversation, and then, you know,
that's a good
have
way.
it.
Yeah,
so.
That's a good way to go about it. Okay, so IVF.
Yeah. Oh God.
Stop. So I actually had talked to a doctor in San Francisco. I was going to freeze my eggs. And
How old are you?
I'm 30 this year, so I'm 29 right now. And like my whole thing with it was, I didn't have a partner. So I was like, I don't know when I'm going to be like having babies. Like, do I want babies?
It's amazing to have the option.
Right. Amazing to have the option. Walk me through that process. I've heard it's actually one of the most, and I don't mean to like, I don't want to turn anybody away from it, but I heard it's pretty traumatic because you feel like you're going through pregnancy, but also you don't have the baby. And it's like, what, a 2 or 3 week, like, retrieval process?
It's the retrieval, I think, is 2 weeks. And then
The hormones, though.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's okay.
Yeah.
How much time do you have?
Because, no, I mean, please, I want to.
Because there's,
I think a lot of people.
So, like,
relate.
for you, if you were doing just the retrieval, it would be like a 2 to 3 week situation done. And then, very romantic, right? This is how people conceive these days. Fertilize the egg. It. Your husband goes into the room with the porn, and yeah, it's how everyone's dreamt of having babies.
No, for sure.
And then with a cup instead of you, and then. Yeah. I remember actually my husband was in residency at the time when I was going through it. I've done a lot of IVF. All 3 of my kids are IVF, but I've been pregnant 6 times and had some trouble with pregnancy loss. So, unfortunately, I'm an expert in this field. Yeah. But I remember so his schedule when he was in residency was so insane. He had to be there at like 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
And so he couldn't get there for the appointment. Mm-hmm. And so I had to bring his specimen with me. Yes. And I remember it like I was holding it like I didn't want anyone to see it. And I had it like inside a coat and it like kind of opened a little. And oh my God, I'm nauseous even thinking about it.
And you're like holding it's just like.
And I'm like, I think we may have conceived our child and you weren't there. Beautiful.
No,
beautiful. But babies are miracles. We're very lucky. Yes, thank you. You bring the cum in the cup.
You bring the cum in the cup. Yeah. You bring the cum cup.
Yeah, the cum cup.
To the station. Yeah. And like, can you just walk me through what that process is? Because I think it's like.
So basically they have what's called a fresh cycle, which they don't do so much anymore. Okay. Which is where the after they make the embryo, they put it in you 3 to 5 days after your retrieval.
Holy
because
shit.
Your body is already like in
that mode.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of times now, I think they like for people to wait so that their whole reproductive system can take a rest, have a beat. And then, so they'll put it on ice. And then a month or 2 later, you go back on the hormones and put it in. Which is a lot less of an ordeal than actually doing the retrieval because they just basically
implant it in you.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go.
Yeah.
So all 3 of your babies were IVF?
All 3, yeah.
That's crazy. What age were you when you did that?
I was 25 or 26 when I did the first round of IVF, which I was very shocked because I never thought that I would have infertility issues. Like I was a baby when I got married. I thought, and my mom was always like, sweetie, we're very fertile in our family.
She's like, don't worry, fertile.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, babes. She's like, don't have unprotected sex because you won't get pregnant. Yeah. And I was like, okay, sure. Yeah, it's crazy. All those years of worrying that I may be pregnant
and you're like, and I wasn't.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah. So basically I found out I had this infertility issue called hypothalamic amenorrhea, and I wasn't able to get pregnant. And so my older 2 are actually twins because one of them.
Wait, what?
Because they're the same batch.
Holy shit!
So
but at different times.
Yeah, I know.
That's
and they know
nuts.
it. So my second daughter tells everyone that she was frozen like Elsa.
Are you kidding me? I love that, and like, what a good way for her to describe that. Wait, no shit. So they were from the same batch. They're technically twins, but how many years apart are they? Like
they're 19 months apart.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, they're close, but
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, same batch.
Holy shit.
It's like
and they look identical too.
Well,
now that you're saying that.
They're technically fraternal because
but they look so much alike.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell. Obviously they're sisters, but now that you mention it, they do look like twins.
Yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, I think you should do it. I think it's great. Why not? Like,
I agree. I know. Like, to go through that process, obviously, it would like suck for a little bit, but like the benefits on the other end are just amazing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So you have 3 kids now.
I do. Yeah.
How old are they?
10, 8, and 2. So,
2.
Yeah, my baby is...
He's the boy,
He's the boy. Yeah.
He's so cute.
He's insane. I call him my baby Jesus, which I know may be a little controversial, but we're uncensored here. But, like,
wait, I love
he's
that.
literally my miracle baby.
Yeah.
Because I had lost 3 pregnancies in between my middle and him. And so, and I went through like so much with the infertility stuff and then the pregnancy with him was like a fucking nightmare. And so he really is like he completed our family. Yeah.
Stop. So no more kids after him, or?
I mean, unless God made me pregnant on my own, I'm not doing that IVF stuff again. I feel I'm 37 also. I'm not so young anymore. And I'm getting up there, honey.
No, you're not.
Okay, yeah. I feel old, okay? I do.
She doesn't at all. She's saying,
oh my God, I'm so tired.
So what are you up to now? You're doing the mom thing, you're a wife to a plastic surgeon, but like, what are you doing specifically?
So
besides being Bubby. On the subway, which is my favorite thing ever.
Yeah. So, I'm sort of just seeing where life takes me.
Yeah.
I know that I'm very passionate about doing whatever I can for the Jewish people, doing whatever I can to bring positive PR to Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my passions. I feel like there's definitely a void in the representation for that.
Right.
And so, I do whatever I can to fill it. But my hope is to really just inspire and empower people to stand up for what they believe in and to just not be afraid, because I feel like every voice counts. And so whatever your cause is, like, I feel like we're, especially in the age of social media, there is so much negativity, but there's also so much positivity. Yeah. And we have such an opportunity to use this platform to, get exposure for our causes. And so that's, really my goal is to help and encourage people to do that.
I love that. And like, that was my whole point of starting a podcast. Cause like when I went on, the show, reality TV, I was not given an option of like what my edit was going to be or like how people were going to perceive me. And so my whole thing with this is like, I want to give everyone a platform to be able to like give their own story and like tell it the way they want to tell it and not have it be like the scripted, like, whatever. And like, what better way to do that than go on a podcast? So I appreciate you saying that because it's amazing.
Yeah, I feel like, what a noble thing to do.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
No, you too.
I feel like there is so much responsibility that comes with, having a little bit of fame, being in the public eye.
Yeah.
And so when people actually take that and use it for good, it's something to be celebrated because we don't see it that often. I mean, look at all the people out there who are just basking in the glow of their filters. And not that I'm not doing the same.
No, literally.
Can we put a filter on this, by the way?
Can we just put like a Paris
filter? It's uncensored, but is it unfiltered? Can we just put a little Paris?
Yeah. Just a little Paris filter.
Just a little swipe. Yeah.
But you were talking about like sticking up for like your Jewish culture and like Israel. You consider yourself a modern day like Zionist.
Yes.
What does that mean to you though? Because I don't technically know what that means.
Right.
And I want to hear
I'm so glad that you asked me. I think it is so amazing when people say, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Tell me. And it's such a great teaching moment because the problem with the word Zionist is that it has been hijacked and it has taken on a meaning that is not true to what it actually is at all. The word Zionist actually very simply means that you believe in the Jewish people's ancestral right to their homeland.
Wow.
And so anyone who believes that the Jews have a right to the state of Israel is a Zionist.
Right.
And it's that simple.
Wow.
Unfortunately, as happens, there is negative propaganda out there with people who have an agenda other than what they're actually saying. And they make Zionist into a hateful term.
Yeah.
And, it's important for me to say that I love all people. I really, all I've ever wanted and prayed for is peace for Israel, for the Palestinian people. I've been to parts of Israel in the West Bank where Israelis and Palestinians work beautifully together. And, I've seen with my own eyes what the relationships are really like there. And it's nothing like what we hear and see in the media and the conflict and the controversy. It's actually so harmonious and beautiful.
Because everyone makes it like this huge, I don't know, like back and forth or like war basically. But you've seen it firsthand and you feel like it's very harmonious.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Yeah. It's just not what people with different agendas want you to think, but
well, that's why you're here, is to like shine light on that.
Exactly.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah. And I always say, like, anyone who's, out there talking badly about Israel, I would love to know if they've been, because most of the time they haven't. And I think it just, one of the things that really bothers me is when people are out there claiming to be fighting for human rights and they're criticizing the only democracy in the Middle East, the only place where you can be a homosexual and not be persecuted, the only place where women have equal rights in the Middle East. And
really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I mean, that's a problem. You don't know because they don't want you to know.
Right.
So.
They make it seem like this
oppressive.
Right.
And it's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so I'm here to hopefully correct the narrative.
No, I love that. And I feel like so many people are going to learn from that. It's an educational moment. I mean, even for me, like, I didn't know. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. Happy to be able to shed light.
Thank you.
I am Schwitz.
Wait, I want to know though. So you do, when you like do your Bubby impression, you give like a couple examples of like Jewish like terms.
Yeah, Yiddish words.
Yeah, give me a Yiddish word that I like need to know.
Okay. Like you could say, here's a good one. Fakakta.
Fakakta.
Fakakta. That means like if the mic kept getting messed up, you're like, oh, it's so fakakta. It's
like
a fakakta
it's like
microphone.
Oh, it's
it's messed
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fakakta.
It's fakakta.
Yeah. Yeah. And then another one that you should use would be, I'm trying to think of a good one for you.
Yeah. Give me a good one.
I mean, one of my favorites is mishigas,
what's that?
Which means like,
I love this.
Just like it's like a bunch of nonsense. You're like, oh, well, that's such a bunch of mishigas. That's just mishigas.
Okay, so it's like, what the fuck?
That's it's like if your haters would be like, oh, don't ignore that mishigas.
Wait, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm using
that's a good one.
I'm using it.
Mishigas. Yeah.
Mishigas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so I have this segment on Uncensored Saints. It's called The Confessional. And I feel like you're going to be like totally okay doing this. But tell us one thing that you've never told anyone. It could be. I'm
such an open book. I mean, is there anything people don't know? Okay, I'm going to give you first one that's not super serious.
Yeah.
Which is I don't like salad. And I don't like sushi. I know. I'm just,
Wait,
no. I don't. I've tried, and I really tried for years to like both of them, salad and sushi, because it's like, it's hard to fit in the world when you don't eat salad or sushi.
I'm not going to lie, it really is.
And I really tried, but like I finally just like one day had to say, like, I just don't like either of these foods, and I'm just going to have to own that. And so I hate seaweed. I hate the whole thing. I can't handle it.
Wait, why salad though? It's just like,
I just don't like a bunch of like cold things in a bowl mixed together. I don't know, it grosses me out. It's like, ooh.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay, now you're kind of making me feel sick thinking about cold things in a bowl mixed together.
Not into it. I'm Texan. I like meat.
I know.
Potatoes.
You like your,
like
you're
I
like
like red
Southern
meat.
comfort, baby.
I do.
I know.
Yes, sweetie, I do. I love it. Yeah.
Okay,
and
so
another
what's your
thing,
serious one?
I really don't like Taylor Swift.
You're not a Swiftie. Okay. Why?
Oh my God, now I'm nervous that I just said this out loud.
Yeah, no, I'm like, by the way, if Taylor Swift, if you see this, I don't know her.
Oh my God. I just don't. There's something about her. She's like always like, there's like this humility and like the posture, but it like comes across as very like phony. It's like, me, another award, but like she won 12 like the same night. I don't know.
You're like, I cannot get aboard.
I think she's a very talented songwriter, but I'm not a big fan of her voice.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that.
She's not. I feel like she can't sing on key live. You
like
have one job.
I love Taylor Swift.
Everyone loves Taylor Swift. But I'm
not like
one.
a Swiftie. I'm not like, oh wow, it's Taylor Swift. Like I think her music's relatable just because I've been in a lot of shitty relationships. So songwriting, I can see like she's amazing at songwriting.
Great songwriter.
I can see why you don't maybe appreciate like the voice behind it.
Yeah, it's just not my vibe.
Is it?
I'm more of a Gaga.
Yeah. That was my impression.
Very good. Beautiful. Yeah. She would like that.
You're like, because I know her.
I do, yeah.
Gaga, if you're listening to this, we love you.
Gaga, if you're listening, Liz from music business class says hi.
You're like, hello.
From Third North Dorm.
Yes, well, of course.
Yeah.
Gaga, thank you.
She did actually kind of hit on me once.
Wait, stop.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
Well, she was like going through a little bit of a like, am I admitting this publicly?
No.
Okay. Maybe this is my one thing nobody knows. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, here we go. They're just pouring out. Okay. Well, I think she was going through like maybe like a little bit of an experimental time.
Yeah.
And yeah, she sort of sent me a proposition Instagram message that her and her boyfriend thought that I was,
cute. They wanted to have a threesome. No. What would you say?
I was flattered, but I just like, I mean, she wasn't Gaga yet. If she asked me now, maybe I consider it.
You're like, babes, you're not Gaga yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
No way. So she asked you.
I think I still have a screenshot of the message somewhere because, I like receipts.
Oh, Mom.
I don't have it on my phone.
Do you have it on your phone?
Yeah, but I don't know. I'll look.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
No, that's insane. I love that.
It wasn't like an overt. It was like, my boyfriend and I would love to have you over.
For some drinks. And some penis. And vagina. Yeah. You're like, yeah, no. So I'm going to get back to you on that. But then was it awkward?
I think I just sent some hearts. And then I ran into her like a few weeks later.
Was it like awkward like moving forward from that?
I didn't feel awkward.
I would.
I was always very enamored of her talent. So I was very flattered.
Okay.
But
so
I still
like the girl
but I just don't like pussy. So I was like not gonna, you know what I mean? Like I always say like I could be a lesbian, but like I just don't, I'm not into vagina.
I'm not into it, but I can appreciate a beautiful woman.
Yeah, same.
I think women are beautiful.
I could do it from the neck up maybe. Yeah. I mean, the waist up.
But like touching a vagina is just like unappealing.
I don't even want to look at my own. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care.
When I was giving birth, they asked me if I wanted a mirror.
You're like,
they were like,
not.
Some people like have an easier time pushing if they can see. I'm like, I don't ever want to see that. Like, I don't want to see it without the baby coming out. Like, you can never unsee that. I feel like that would be so traumatic.
Wait, okay, let me ask you too. So a lot of people's husbands, they like to see that shit.
Did you?
Did Ira?
There is a Jewish law. And ladies out there, you can adopt this even if you're not Jewish. Okay. That a man is never allowed to look at a woman's vagina with the lights on. So you cannot.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's not allowed to go down and inspect when the lights are on. Your husband.
But they have to be off.
So every time you guys have sex, though, are the lights on or off?
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to talk about it from a Jewish law standpoint.
She's like, from a married standpoint, a little different.
It depends.
Yeah.
But like, let's say like there's some downtown action happening.
Yeah. Lights off.
I would say lights off.
Honestly,
I would want that. I don't want the lights on.
No, I get that because then it's like more comfortable and you can kind of like be in your sexual zone where you don't have to be like, oh my God, are you looking at my vagina? What does my vagina look like? Did I shave today? Like, did I not?
Yeah.
It's like very.
And by the way, I've been married 13 years and you still have all these thoughts.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I felt like maybe they would sort of like taper off after a while.
No, I have them.
See, I'm going to be the same way as you because I am the same way as you and also we're Libras.
Mm-hmm.
Holy
all
shit.
Libras don't want to have
all Libras
oral
want
sex with the lights
on. All Libras want oral sex lights off forever.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This is great.
Lizzy, I think we can end on that note because that was amazing.
Okay.
Thank you for
Sorry, Mom.
Thank you for coming on Uncensored Saints. I fucking love you.
I love you too, dude.
Thank you. Lizzy, tell us where we can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at Lizzy with a Y, Savetsky. Mm-hmm. And I'm on TikTok. I'm really trying to be better at it.
Yeah.
I'm not really an avid TikToker.
Me neither. But we're getting there.
Yeah.
But
follow me on TikTok.
Everyone, go now. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming. I adore you.